Welcome to Punch TV. Today we have a very special episode. We are focusing on SASKASSEMBLE. This is going to be the greatest event that has hit Saskatoon in years. It is a comic and toy focused convention. It's the convention that I have always wanted to go to, and it will be at the Sutherland Hall on Sunday, September 15th. So mark your calendars, and Punch TV is going to be there. So you can come hobnob with us, and we will film a whole bunch of the fun in case you miss out. But you don't want to miss out because we have a ton of groovy artists locally that are coming. We have Tom Grummett, Riley Rossmo, Nathan Wall, Elaine Will, Don Sparrow, Ryan Howe, Rob Schaff, James Zintel, Audra Ballion, Dave Cornelius, Jeff Burton, and Brayton Martins. Like, woo! I'm out of breath just listing off who's going to be there, plus a ton of great vendors. So it's going to be a really, really, really fun time. And today we will have Jeff and Steve to tell us about the con, and we will have some artists coming in. We've got Dawn, and we've got Nathan, and we have Ryan. So you definitely want to stay tuned. And we saved the best for last. Kathy's going to talk about Terry Fox run this year, which sadly Major Party and I can't go to because it's on the same day as SASKASSEMBLE. But lots going on in the city and you don't want to miss out. So stay tuned.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Don Sparrow, illustrator and man about town. Don is promoting a number of things right now, but he's got a new, recent book out called Does Your Mother Know, which I've got in my hands here. What I like about this book is, I should say first, it's autobiographical, I guess. So it's about you as a teenager, and I mean, if I can say like a dorky teenager. Who has a crush on a girl and goes to sort of great lengths to take her to a dance, and that's basically what the book is about. So, we've talked a lot about this book over time, and I obviously do a lot of writing too, and some of that's autobiographical. And what I really like about this book is that you don't pull punches on yourself. It's very like self-deprecating. So, why do you write it that way? What is it? What does that mean to you?
Well, unfortunately, it's because I was extremely dorky, and I kind of still am. But yeah, I think that's where the humor has to come from. It's got to come from yourself, and you got to be able to laugh at yourself, and especially with the passage of time, and you look back and you go, oh my goodness, that's really what I did. That's really what I said. And so as you tell these stories, later in life, you realize. From people's reactions where the comedy is, and then that's where it guides you to. Yeah, and I think like,
often if I'm doing something like that, I feel like when I start to get uncomfortable with what I'm writing and feeling like, oh, this is, I'm working on something uncomfortable here, that's when you're starting to get to the good stuff.
Absolutely, yeah, that's where you got to lean into it and go like, oh boy, I'm nervous about people reading this.
Yes.
I'm probably on the right track.
Yeah. So what's your process for writing something like this and illustrating it?
For this one, because it's more like it's not a pure comic book, right? There's not panels and word bubbles, so it's kind of a narrative piece. So for this one, I wrote it very much like just a narrative story and then broke it up sort of into individual panels. But that can change. Like I'm working on a story now that is all word bubbles, no captions, and I find it a lot more challenging actually. I'm more used to this style, sort of that Wonder Years narration caption rather than word bubbles. But yeah, the process changes all the time. And then as I sort of isolate how many words I can get on a page, I go, well, this would probably be a good image for this, or this would be a good image for this.
Yeah, and I really love the Much Music video dance party in here. Definitely, like there's some great nostalgia in the book, as you said.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, I definitely a '90s kid, and so there's things like that where I certainly remember them fondly. So hopefully people around our age do as well. And then for my kids and stuff, they go, oh, it's seriously what you drove? This is what you listened to?
And I want to quickly get to your trip to France. So you just, I'll let you explain it, but you just came back from France from a big illustrator situation over there.
Yes,
I'll let you explain.
yeah, absolutely. So Angoulême, France is the Europe's second largest comic convention, and it's very much a sort of a literary show. And because the theme this year was Canadian comics, the Canadian government sort of put together a contingency of a whole bunch of people. They really wanted to have comic creators from each province represented, and they were. So first of all, there was an outdoor art exhibit where they had. They featured graphic novels from each province and had a little blurb about them in French and English at a beautiful outdoor art piece right in front of City Hall. It was a beautiful castle, castle church, European thing. And so Elaine Will was one of the authors selected, and I was one of the authors selected for Saskatchewan. So once I was selected for that, I thought, well, let's see if I can go. Like, I wonder if I could actually go. And it was pretty late into the planning. It was going to happen in January 24, and I only got involved in maybe like October. The deadlines for all these, grants and things to go were in August. So I was very much sort of hanging onto the bottom of the helicopter as they went. But it sort of providentially all came through, and so the Canadian government found me accommodation and put us together. And so there was a really cool, just Canadian energy to this very European classic comic show, and it was honestly life-changing. Just getting to meet these different creators from across Canada. It took going to Europe to meet creators from Canada, but it was so inspiring, and also just to see comics in the world. When you go out for dinner in France, there's people with comics under their arm in a fancy restaurant.
Right.
So that seeing the comics as literature was really inspiring and really helped me finish this book, where I was like, no, I really want to put something out into the world and be worthy of this amazing trip. So.
Awesome. So does your mother know? Don't know, maybe so. DonSparrow.com. Thanks, Don.
Thanks so much.
Punch TV is brought to you in part by Amazing Stories, providing Saskatoon with comics, games, toys, graphic novels, t-shirts, and more for over 22 years. Online at AmazingStoriesComics.com. In person on 8th Street in Saskatoon.
I am here with friend of the show, Ryan Howe. Lots of good stuff. Ryan's going to be part of SASKASSEMBLE, so we're very excited to have you there and here today. Please tell us what is going on in the world of Daisy Blackwood.
Daisy is actually on hold. I have the 6th book sort of figured out, and actually like the 7th and 8th, but I wanted to take some time with some other stuff. When I finished the 5th book, I was about a third of the way into Bad Karma and kind of doing research for Daisy because it's historically set, right? Even though it's not really specific, it is in the past. And so digging through research, trying to find like sets and scenes and objects and stuff, and then also doing Bad Karma. I'm like, I can't do a Daisy thing, I have to put it aside for a while. So I put it aside, and I'm actually working on a new webcomic called We've Got Spirit. Ooh. The first one is totally done. It's been done for about 5 months now, and it's going to be coming out at GambadeCon in its first collected volume, and I'll have it at SASKASSEMBLE as well. So I'm very excited about that. The actual books arrived today, which is very exciting.
Yeah, so good. It's incredibly exciting when you get to like actually crack open the box and see like the physical manifestation of all your work.
Yep. As cool as it is to have like comics appear immediately with webcomics and stuff, the smell, and probably toxic smell, but the smell of printed comics is amazing. I love popping it open. You kind of get that first waft. Everything's super crisp. It's packed in so neatly, right? That like when Bad Karma showed up, there was like 8 boxes of it or something. I had no idea. When you order your comp copies, like, how many do you want? I'm like, I'll take like 50, it's fine. I did not think about how thick a 300-page book would be for, so there's like 8. My wife's like, your comp copy showed up, and my entire front entrance was just copies of this book. But like, they were all individually wrapped, they were sealed, you take them all out, they're just so precious.
Yeah.
It's so fun to get new books.
And this is a particularly gorgeous volume and a great book, really, really good.
They did such a good job putting that book together, yeah. And we were so lucky to get Tony Stella, who did the cover of it, and Alex DeCampi, who also wrote it and lettered it, did a bunch of the layout and the design for it too. So yeah, was so pleased with that book.
Yeah, I love like the retro feel of it. Like it reminds me of like an old like VHS movie cover for like a good crime drama thriller. So yeah, it's great.
Well, he was
Fantastic.
one of my favorite artists for a long time for like movie posters and stuff, and I followed him on Twitter and socials for the longest time. And then when Alex was like, "Hey, I got an idea for a cover. I just want to float by you guys," she told us, "I'm like, yes. Why would we not want to do that? Go do it."
Yeah, totally. Super good. Yeah, there is nothing like a physical book. Like I love webcoms, and I completely am in awe of your work ethic to like get a webcomic out consistently, because it is a ton of work. But I like the feel of the paper. I like the gloss and the smell, and all of that adds to the experience, I think, of enjoying a graphic novel.
I love having digital copies of like graphic novels I have, not that I've made, but other ones I've collected too. But the problem is like between kids and like everything else, the time I read is really like at bedtime. So it tends to be the digital copies mostly, but I love having the print copies on the shelf I can take out. I have my wife got me the big collection of Darwin Cook's Parker series.
Oh, so that was so
Yeah,
great.
so they're enormous. They sit there. They're so unwieldy, but just like to break those open and see like almost full board size, that 2-color printing he's doing is just, it's not screen, it's like physical. It's so great.
It's like an artifact in
Yep.
your hand.
Yeah, you can kill someone with it quite easily.
Which would fit thematically.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
Yeah.
okay, we got a little bit of time left. I want to talk about your new book that you have a little sneak peek of. It's not out yet.
Yeah, so Little Moons.
Yeah.
So Little Moons is coming out this October is the book launch. It's actually right before Prairie Comics Fest in Winnipeg. So that's really exciting. It's been done for a little while now, and so like to actually have the physical copy is great. It's about the Indigenous kind of missing and murdered women, right? So the main character, Rihanna, her sister goes missing, and they hold out hope for a long time about whether she's, something tragic has befallen her or not. It's kind of her journey of acceptance of the outcome either way, and it's a little bit heavy, but it's also kind of a nice character study in everything. Jen Storm wrote it. I've worked with Jen on a couple things, but never as a writer, so that was a really fun process. And yeah, I'm really happy with how that book came out. The coloring is beautiful. The whole production team was great, and yeah, I'm really excited for people to read it.
I'm excited. I'm a big fan. I love Daisy. I mean, you write female protagonists really, really well.
Oh, thanks.
And so it'll be great to see how you do with a collaboration rather than just being something that is just solely yours.
I love collaborations. It means I don't have to think up everything.
That's awesome.
It's fun working with other people. So
It's good to share the load.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great to have you here, and very excited to have you join us for SaskAssemble on
course.
September 15th. So mark your calendars and make sure that you're there. And thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
This is Major Party, two-time Saskatchewan air guitar champion, and I'm here on Punch TV with comic, writer, artist extraordinaire, Nathan Wall. Nathan, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Now, you are doing something very special for SaskAssemble. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're doing an exclusive cover and story for Goose.
Ooh. Now, can you tell us about Goose and about the story? What can you tell us without giving too much away?
Well, Goose is Canada's biggest a-hole, so he's a disgruntled sidekick who goes around fighting monsters in the Canadian wilderness.
Now, what happened to Goose to make him such a not kind person? Can we say not kind person, I think?
Yeah, he just got old and bitter for, being in the superhero world for too long, and now he's just a disgruntled old Gen Xer.
I think that'll probably happen to a lot of us sooner rather than later, unfortunately. So what was the inspiration behind the special cover?
Well, I worked on the poster for SaskAssemble last year, and they reached out and they wanted to do an exclusive G.I. Joe cover, so we're doing a little homage to Snake Eyes.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, my favorite G.I. Joe.
Do you have a favorite G.I. Joe comic?
The one that we're doing, the issue 21, the silent issue, was a lot of fun.
See, I was hoping you'd say that, because that's one of my all-time favorite comics ever, which really got me into like the reading the silent comics. There's something about that genre I super enjoy. So
Yeah, Spy versus Spy, same thing. Like when it's just wordless, and it's difficult storytelling, but when it's pulled off, it's fantastic.
good. So what else have you been working on, Nathan? What can you tell us? What else is happening with your creative mind?
Well, we got Goose happening, and we're still working on Joe Zombie. So Joe Zombie's got a series that we're working on. I'm kind of waiting for it to all be finished, and then I'll release it all at once.
Nice. Now, you've been doing Joe Zombie for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Are you doing a special anniversary something coming up? Have you thought about or Joe Zombie whatever anniversary issue?
Well,
I'm just giving you ideas here. I'm marketing for you.
Joe Zombie, we're doing a 4-issue arc about the Dance Macabre. So
Oh, wow.
it's going to tiptoe with the story about, you know, death comes for everybody, regardless of, you know, king to peasant. And it's going to take place over the pandemic. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Great. So where do you get your ideas for your stories?
For Joe Zombie, it's always a Wikipedia rabbit hole. So I like old folk tales, and then you just find a little kernel of truth, and then, you know, play around with it until you got a story in your head.
Good. Now, you did some artwork for one of my favorite bands, Ultimate Power Duo.
Yes, I did.
And your artwork was very much different than everything else in there. What was your inspiration for that particular artwork? And side question, have you done anything else with music?
Well, the artwork for that one, I wanted to go with more of a retro feel. So heavy brush lines, you know, Kirby Crackle, just kind of go with that, you know, Silver Age comic book, Silver Surfer kind of feel. And yeah, I haven't done much with other musicians, but always open to different projects.
If you had the chance to make a comic for one of your all-time favorite bands, musician, who would it be?
I'm a big Tool fan, but that's easy picking. Headstones. I think I would go with the Headstones. They were one of my favorite bands growing up, and that Canadian content, and I've always loved, you know, he's got an attitude, and that's what I like. So, you know, basing characters off of Hugh Dillon, Goose has kind of got a bit of that vibe. So
Nice. That'd be a really cool idea. I wonder if you could write him into one of your stories anyway, and, you know, send it to him, make a collab that way.
that's always a possibility. Yeah, just do some fan art and send it his way, and see if we get any bites.
There we go. Punch exclusive right now. I think that'll work out really well. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you want our Punch viewers to know about?
Just come down, check out our new exclusive cover for the SASKASSEMBLE, and let me know what you think.
Awesome. And can you show us a copy of Goose so we can show our viewers? Ooh, look at that.
Little House Hippo reference.
Very nice. Very cool. And so do you do the coloring and everything yourself?
I do, yeah.
Wow.
It takes a while. I'm a slow colorer, but yeah, a lot of purples, a lot of blues. So.
What part of the process do you enjoy the most when you're making your own comic?
Inking. I really like the inking. Yeah. Penciling, you know, you go back and forth. It's decision making, but by the time you go to inking, you just kind of find your zone and relax, and that's always the best part for me.
There we go. Awesome. Here we go. Inker extraordinaire Nathan Wall, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you at SASKASSEMBLE.
All right.
And then give him a power fist. Or there. Or there. Everywhere.
Punch TV is brought to you in part by Amazing Stories, providing Saskatoon with comics, games, toys, graphic novels, t-shirts, and more for over 22 years. Online at AmazingStoriesComics.com. In person on 8th Street in Saskatoon.
Everybody, it's Tony the Collector. We're here to talk to Steve Boyd and Jeff from Amazing Stories. We're here to talk about SASKASSEMBLE 2. Now, number 1 was awesome. Number 2 is going to be twice as good. Steve Boyd, what exactly is SASKASSEMBLE 2?
SASKASSEMBLE is a love letter convention for comic fans. It's a convention for collectors, by collectors. I've been going to shows for over 30 years, and this is the show I would want to go to. There'll be a lot of comic books and collectibles and things like that, so you will walk out a better collector than when you walked in.
Excellent. So Jeff, Amazing Stories is involved this year. You weren't involved in the first one.
Right.
What kind of things do you bring to the table? Because Amazing Stories is like a big, amazing store.
Thank you. Well, I'm kind of in the same boat as Steve here. It's like we really wanted to get involved with a show that put the focus more on comics. I'd say toys too, right? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Comics and toys, and trying to fill a void in Saskatoon. I go to a lot of cons now, and the shows that I enjoy the most always have lots of comics, and that's what I like. Steve's probably more into toys than I am. I know you're a big G.I. Joe guy.
I am, yeah.
But the comics are what I love, and I want to see guys selling comics. I want to talk to guys about comics. I want to see old comics. So this is our opportunity to get involved with the community and push comic books.
Awesome. Well, we all love comics, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be here right now. Also, because of comics being so popular at the show, you're also bringing in some toy collectors as well?
Yep, we've got a couple different vendors who will be there who attend some of the local shows as well. Coral Collectibles is one. I myself, I have a little online business I do called Metropolis Connections. I have quite a few toys, vintage and modern, and we've got another guy who will be setting up their Warrior Collectibles, I think is his store name, and some stuff. So yeah, everybody's going to kind of be bringing a sampling of that. So you'll probably find a little of that at most booths.
Cool.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that it's going to be toys and comics. It has been a long time since I've been to a really good comic show in Saskatoon. Also, you're bringing some comic stars in too, I believe.
We are. This is a little bit different from last year. Last year we were only able to bring in a few artists for the show. It was a little bit limited. I was still trying to feel the thing out because I'm not originally from here, right? So I'm still learning the community and everything. But this year, thanks to this guy, we've got lots of local talent, lots of artists coming, and our guest of honor this year, Nathan, who you guys had on a few minutes ago, Nathan Wall, he'll be there. We're also getting Riley Rossmo.
Yep.
It's one of our guest of honors, and Tom Grummett.
Tom Grummett's here. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
that's a big deal.
We Saskatoon has a huge community for artists and writers in comics, and just everything about Saskatoon is big, but we just don't really showcase our stuff in the city. So it's really good to hear you guys doing comics, you're doing toys, but at the same time you actually have people that are creating these things.
Yeah.
Coming,
And look, I just want to say, this guy here, like Amazing Stories, you guys get it. Like you guys understand the community, the importance of the community, the love of comics and the art form and stuff. So partnering up with Amazing Stories is, it's a big deal. And
well,
it's very cool.
It's a lifestyle. I know that Jeff and I collect a lot of comics.
It is.
And it is something that we are doing all the time. So we work with it, we see it, and I'd like to bring more people. We might even get people that don't know about comics who can buy their first comic and
That's
stuff.
right.
So,
We're ready to create collectors, not
Exactly.
just let them spend money.
yes, and that is awesome. So we're actually looking then, you got the creators, you got all the people that are coming in for selling stuff, and what can we do? Like, are we going to be able to go there and just like do other stuff as well, as far as like just seeing everybody and walking through the show?
Absolutely, yeah. There'll be the vendors and artists will be there. A little bit, some will be separate. Most of the local artists will be in a different room, so there'll be a big vendor area. We're going to have a costume contest.
Yes.
And the same folks who handled that last year for us, Agents of Fandom, are going to be there to handle that. We're going to have hourly door prizes. So, in fact, can I
Go
show
ahead.
this? One of the prizes we're going to be giving away. This is pretty sweet. It is, do I show it here? Is this good? Captain Power #1, signed by the actor Tim Dunnigan, who played him on the television show. It's pretty sweet.
Yep.
And yeah, we're going to have those hourly door prizes. Punch is going to be there to do some stuff. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
gonna be
be there showcasing Saskatoon artists and art. I'm looking forward to it mostly because I love old comics, and I hope that there's a lot of old comics there. I'd like to see some really big comics, Jeff, so I hope that you're bringing some comics in. And I'll be bringing my lot of comics, so there'll be a lot of
Are you
comics
bringing
there.
comics?
Well, I'll be in my car. It's like comics, I won't be in the show. It'll be like secondary.
I don't know if that's a fire hazard, but we'll
I'll
wing it.
Be selling in my car.
Yeah.
So you ever see those guys who are just like selling out of their car, out of their trunk, they
Absolutely.
open up?
Oh yeah.
So
It's
I'll
like
be
trunk or
on that.
treat, but with
Yes,
comics.
trunk
right?
or treat.
Yeah,
all the
so- yeah,
time.
I get it,
Trunk
yeah.
or treat. So awesome.
I love it.
Anyway, yeah, thanks for coming today. We're going to be there on September 15th in the Sutherland Hall. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Hey punchers, it's me Hank. I am here with Kathy to talk about all things Terry Fox. But before we get to that, some breaking news. I heard that the Terry Fox organizers have asked that Jody and Brennan, aka Major Party, aka Mr. Rizzling, don't dance this year because last year the dance was too good. So good that it distracted all of the contestants. It was pandemonium and they don't want that again. So Kathy, are the rumors true? Is that correct that they don't want Jody and Brennan to be dancing this year because they were too good?
Actually, they really liked the energy that the Punch people brought to the run, and they were hoping that maybe the Punch people could come back this year. But SASKASSEMBLE is actually on the same day as the run this year. So
Same day, so that means.
So
you know-
coincidence, they planned it the same day.
So the Terry Fox run happening September 15th.
Yep.
Same place behind the Bessborough again, and that's where it's going to start.
Yeah.
Neat. Tell us all about it.
So, yep, same place as we've had for several years behind the Bessborough. Registration starts at about 11 o'clock. We usually have an opening ceremony type thing that starts around noon, and you do some exercises, some dancing, whatever.
Oh,
Get
dancing.
ready.
Oh.
You can dance if you would like. And then you start running. Usually about 12:30 or so, people start running. It doesn't have to be running though. It could be.
I was just going to say, like, when you say running, because like somebody like me, running, that scares me, but I could show up and walk.
You definitely could show up and walk. You could roll if you want to do it biking, if you want to do it scootering or something like that. There are a little bit of repairs to the Minwasan Trail, so there are some places where rolling isn't the greatest. But yeah, any abilities.
And dogs.
And dogs.
From what I saw, you can bring your puppy with
Yeah,
you. too.
yeah. We even sometimes give the dogs little participant stickers and stuff like that that they can wear so that they're included.
Now, you were wearing the Ryan Reynolds designed and inspired shirt from last year, correct?
Yes, because I don't have this year's yet. But
So
yeah, this is last
What
year's.
is this year's shirt going to look like?
This year's shirt is navy. The theme for this year is no matter what. So it's got some things on the back of it, no matter what things. And then it also has like this kind of heartbeat across the back that kind of looks like a heartbeat, but it isn't. It's a red line across the back of the navy shirt. And it's actually the route that Terry took. So it's this same line on the back of the new shirt, but it's not the map. But that's what it's supposed to be.
So you have been volunteering for this event for numerous years, correct?
21 years.
21 years. And what got you into volunteering for the Terry Fox Run?
A coworker asked me to volunteer with her in 2003. We both lost our dads to cancer as young people, and this is kind of a way to give back to that. Hopefully get some research money so that other people don't have to.
And is that
go
where
through
the
that.
proceeds go to
Yeah.
research?
Yeah, all the money that is raised by the Terry Fox Foundation goes to research.
And if people wanted to register, find out more, where will they go?
terryfox.org is the website where you can register. For Saskatoon specific stuff, we're on Facebook and Instagram at Saskatoon TFR. But yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So what, over the past zillion years that you have been volunteering and part of the Terry Fox Run, what is your favorite thing?
Was my favorite thing about the run
About
day?
the whole thing.
I love that it's a grassroots thing. That one of the mandates of the Terry Fox Foundation is that nobody can profit off of Terry's name. So, like other runs have big corporate sponsors and that kind of thing, which really helps raise money. But we really stick to that no corporation can profit off their thing. So we do have Ryan Reynolds helping us out, which is phenomenal. But obviously he's not profiting off of us. We are definitely profiting off of him.
As you should.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
you should. So, thank you for telling us all about Terry Fox. I'm sorry we can't be there with you in person this year, but we will be there in our hearts.
Awesome.
In our
Sounds
hearts.
good.
And that about wraps things up for this episode of Punch TV. For everything Punch related, head over to the socials, the old YouTube, the internets, at PunchYXE, and the Punch Radio that you can find, when was it? Friday night at 6, right?
Yeah.
Friday night at 6. Punch Radio, CFCR, the episodes. If you don't catch them live, you can find them on the internet at Apple Music, Spotify, a whole bunch of things at PunchYXE. My name is Hank. This is Kathy. And you know what? We're going to see you next month. And as Jody would say, keep your dukes up. It's Dukes.